Hello and welcome to COMP3218's Let's Play for Batch 12. I'm Adrienne Chapman, a lecturer on the course, and with me today is...
Madeleine Dwyer, and I'm a demonstrator on the course.
Excellent. So for this Let's Play, we are looking at the second coursework, which is all around narrative. The students were given 3 different fables to choose from, and based on the themes that they found within those stories, or one of those stories of their choice, they had to create a game that was both a game and contained narrative elements that contained the look, the feel of that particular fable. Right, shall we move on and look at our first game? All right, and let's look at the game Prison Break. Oh my, a life sentence.
It's not good, is it? Pirating Sunshine Princess Free. You had to know how to end it though, right? After the first 2.
That's right.
But there may be a way to escape the situation.
Oh boy.
Now go do something productive.
Day 1. All right.
Wait. Looks like us 3 are all neighbours. You must be new here. I'm Greg, and I'm all about fitness. Find me at the gym up north.
Okay.
I'm Jeff. I prefer a more intellectual approach to life. Find me in the library to the east. No, excuse me. He was very polite.
I don't know. Now, excuse me.
Yeah, I guess it's in the inflection.
Yeah. So are there only cells up at the top here, or should we follow these people? What's left? Yeah, so just left, right cells.
Yeah, looks like it. Just cells split beds. Right, so... I think it's this way then. Canteen.
People! Let's go. Can we interact? Good.
Dark Magician. Do you want to play cards with the creepy guys? Jeff loves cards. Should I play some cards?
Yeah, let's play cards. Is this a game? Oh. No game? Or maybe we're cutting to a game?
Yeah, maybe it's like a cutscene or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
A
different cutscene.
A large storm will be passing.
In 5 days, I think that said.
Okay. Where'd the card game go? Wait, now we're day 2. Okay. Was that a bug? Or was that meant to happen like that, I wonder? Okay, let's go back and play cards again. See if it's a bug.
Dark Magician. Yes, let's play again.
No card game. Card game?
No.
No, day 3. Okay. Well, let's assume it's not a bug, and it looks like every time we do something, it becomes a day. So maybe we go see what else is in this world.
Yeah.
Was there something off the canteen that we saw? Oh, a kitchen, yes.
So it looks like there's just lots of ovens, but I can interact with them, so...
Yeah. Can we blow something up? Oh.
So, do you want to cook something? Jeff only likes fish. Greg likes fish and loves beef. So, should I cook?
Yeah, let's cook.
I guess fish makes sense, so that's going to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
I don't think you could be, like, that picky an eater in prison. I guess I don't really know. I don't know what the rules are.
But no cookings, no cutscene there. We're just gonna... Oh, is it like a new day? Was that a day? Wait, we didn't see the day, did we?
No, we haven't seen the day. I think this is a cutscene because I didn't control that walking down.
Okay. So what do you think you're doing? Sorry.
I wonder what's going on over there. I'm assuming that's me. I'm kind of cut off a little bit at the edge. I don't know if that's my resolution. You think you run this place, huh? We'll see. I have something planned. Why, you little... Seems like a fight is about to break out. What should you do?
Ooh.
Get involved. None of my business.
Well, we're in prison. Let's experience it to the max. Get involved.
Something to do, isn't it? Something to pass the time. You got beaten up. I bet you wish you went to the gym now.
There's a gym. We forgot about the gym. Day 4. Let's go to the gym.
Let's learn from our mistakes for the next fight.
That's right.
So the gym was north, they said, right? Or was the library north and the gym east, I guess?
Yeah. I'm not even sure. Oh, we found the library. Was library east?
Yeah, maybe then the gym was...
Oh, can we talk to him? Let's go see. Can we talk to him? Let's see. I mean, we're here. Oh, no. I guess...
Doesn't look like...
Yeah. Maybe you're not supposed to talk in the library.
Well, it looks like I can interact over here.
Oh! What's that?
Do you want to read? Jeff loves reading.
Oh. Well, we're here. Should we do that or should we go to the gym?
I guess we could read today and go to the gym tomorrow. We've just been beaten up. We're probably a bit sore.
It's the story of my life. Let's read today, go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah. Reading is definitely easier. So is that day 5, right? So the storm's coming soon. I don't know what that really means, but...
Well, that's right. The storm is today, isn't it?
Should I head to the gym today?
Yeah, let's go to the gym. Did we actually ever find the gym?
No, but this is the only path I think I haven't looked at. No, I don't think I've gone past the library either, so it could be either direction. Oh.
Hey, good instinct for the gym.
Yeah, I think, because I knew they said something about north and east, and then the library was east, so I guess, I don't know if there's anything past the library.
Go following the cardinal directions as standard on a map.
Yeah.
Barbarian guy. Wasn't his name Bob or something?
Yeah, I thought he was like, is he Greg or Jeff? I don't know, they're Jeff and Greg, I can't remember which way around they are. No, I'm guessing it's Greg. You want to work out, Greg loves the gym. Yeah, let's work out so I'm ready for the next fight.
Is this a missing cutscene or is this just... Oh, storm. The doors were deleted.
Fate has given us the opportunity to escape. So to choose wisely. Oh, who do I want to escape with?
How do we choose? We've read with Jeff, we've lifted with Greg. I don't know. Go with Greg, because, I mean, he's obviously buff and gonna knock down some gates or something. Oh, the gates were deleted, but, you know. Let's go with Greg.
Yeah. He can help us with any guards, right?
Uh-huh.
Presumably there's guards around? Oh, apparently there won't be many.
Elbow grease, that's great, because, yeah, he's been at the gym, right?
Yeah. So I went to try and follow, but I couldn't, so I think I'm still in the cutscene. Oh, there is a guard.
Uh-oh.
We're free.
We're free, because the guard's not there? Oh.
I think he's there. And he just caught on.
He just kicked him.
Oh. I should probably punch this gate down. I thought the gates were already down, but you're a weakling. You should probably stay here. Cheers, though. Oh, that's not very nice of him.
No. Although once the gate's down, can we just follow? Oh, you chose the wrong partner.
I think that's the dialogue we already had, wasn't it?
Yeah. Are we in a funny place, or is this more game?
I think maybe it's kind of gone back and like frozen partway through that cutscene. I think it said you chose the wrong part, so I assume that's kind of like.
I thought that was the end. It definitely felt like the end, didn't it? Okay, well, try to get out of this. Maybe restart the game, and while you're doing that, I will start pulling up the marking criteria, and we can walk through it. So the very first bit of the criteria is all around quality, including presentation and meaningful play. Within presentation, we're going to talk about audio, graphics, and information design. Because we are separate and the volumes are different for recording, tell me a little bit about the audio. Is there music and effects?
So I don't think there's any sound effects. I think there's music going on, like I don't know how you describe it, like a little beat kind of in the background. And then when it went to the storm, it did go to like kind of stormy music, but I don't think I noticed any sound effects.
Okay, so we heard music, but we also heard music that altered based on what was actually going on. Not quite effects, but we actually had some. It wasn't just generic background music the whole time. Okay.
Yeah, it did change for the storm.
Good. Graphics, I actually think in this case we have consistent and effective graphics. I mean, nothing stood out or jumped out as being weird or odd. They were cute little people that were. I really like the guy kicking the cop. So I think in this case, consistent and effective. Information design. In this case, what information would we like to see? So we are able to see when we can interact with something, the books in the library, the stove, the card game. And that's pretty much all we are given in terms of information design, isn't it?
Yeah, we get the like day passing at the beginning.
We get the day, so we know kind of when the time period's happening. I think that I'm though a little bit. I think there's a few points in this last playthrough where I was definitely very confused, and I think a lot of it was around. We had one action that was allowed in a day. So like we played that card game twice because we weren't really sure what was going on. There was never a card game. And then, right, it's like just a new day. And then we cooked something because I still didn't quite get that we had an action a day. And then it was a new day, not quite a new day because we had dinner one day. Oh, that was the first day we had dinner. And then on the third day, was that the day we had a fight? So I think there was some confusion around kind of the number of actions we had and how many things we could do in a day or were going to happen in a day. And the other part that I'm struggling with a little bit here is there's obviously some magic around who's I don't know, whether Jeff loves us or Greg is going to leave us behind because we chose poorly. So this time, let's go with Jeff, right? And see if like choosing Jeff or what we have to do. Jeff's the man, right?
I've been going to Greg a lot, I think, because I've been trying to get strong after he said I was weak.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, let's go get strong with Greg. Greg's going to be the man. Greg loves us. We're going to make Greg love us somehow. So I think obviously there is some sort of, a reputation system or a likability system going on here in the background. And while that is perfectly fine being hidden, I don't know that the information design in this case is exactly right. There's just a little bit too much confusion about the number of actions, when a day starts and finishes, and I don't know, how I'm doing either with Greg or Jeff. And I think of all of that, I actually think it's great that how we're doing with Greg and Jeff is hidden. That's a perfect thing to hide. But I think maybe some extra information. So we know that the storm is coming in 5 days. We have this feeling that days are important, and we have 5 of them. That was very clear in the information design. But I do not think that it was entirely clear around the number of actions in that day. So there's some attempted information design. And I'll even say that most key information is shown in this case.
I've just had like some talking with Jeff because I avoided the fight because I didn't want to get beaten up again.
Oh.
And he said that I was smart for not getting involved in the fight, basically. But
oh, excellent. Well, we're smart.
Yeah, I think I still need to like do an action now because it's he just spoke to me and it didn't end the day, so
right.
I'm a bit stuck now.
You can't go to Greg, huh? Are you stuck?
Yeah, I went that way and now I'm just stuck walking that way even if I try and press swear. Let's try clicking.
How about this? I'm going to keep going back on the grading, the marking. Yeah, exactly. Either we start the game or we give it a couple seconds to catch up. But I definitely think, we're coming up now to talk about bugs, and I unfortunately think that we are definitely looking at a reasonably complex game. But there are, I would have said there are minor bugs, but I think this is now the second time we've had to restart the game, isn't it? So I think we might actually have to say that there are serious bugs in this case.
Yeah. Especially as it's partly through the playthrough, so it's not like, at least at the end, it was like, okay, well, I'm starting the game again.
Yeah, and we had a funny ending, but this is definitely in the middle of play. How do the controls feel when you actually get controls back? How do the controls feel in this case? Are you usable, smooth and usable?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, moving around is just with the WASD, and it seems like responsive enough. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting like stuck on bits of the environment or anything like that. And interacting seems okay. Like, I guess where it comes up with the button, like with it says about pressing F to interact when you can. So I haven't had issues except in that bit just then when I kind of froze just before then.
Sure.
The interact didn't work. But up until then, it was all the buttons seems to be doing what they're meant to be doing, and it's not like frustrating or anything. So I think it's quite smooth.
Yeah, good. So we'll say smooth and usable controls. The mechanics. Let's talk about the mechanics we're seeing here. So you could walk around. You can interact with bits of your environment as well as with some of the characters. Those are the mechanics, aren't they? So in this case, it's a set of consistent mechanics. Well done. Moving on, let's talk about fulfilling the brief. So for fulfilling the brief, we've got the story engine and agency. And within the story engine, we need to talk about how the game world impacts the story and the story impacts the game world. And unfortunately, on this one, we're going to actually have a harder time. So ultimately, I think in this game, it's not a game. I think what we have here is a choose your own adventure novel. So we definitely have a story. There's a great story in here about, the choices you're making in prison and then whether you can escape or not. And the hard part here is because there's no game, basically, if you could take this entire presentation and you could convert it back into the old choose your own adventure stories, and you can choose whether you're going to, in this case, are you going to go have a fight? Are you going to join the fight? Are you going to make Jeff a piece of fish? And depending on those choices, you go to a different part of the book, and what you have here is effectively an interactive narrative, not a game. So let's talk a little bit about how you would make a game out of this. And because there's no game, there's no way for the story to impact the game or the game to impact the story. So let's talk about things that you could have done here in the game. So, well, we're in the gym right now. So an example of being in the gym would be, I don't know, think of something like a little rhythm game. So you come up to Greg and you say, yeah, I'm going to lift with you. And that starts you down a narrative path. But then there's like a rhythm game about barbell lifting. And if you can keep the rhythm game, if you do it super job, then Greg really likes you. And if you fail at the rhythm game, then it's almost as if you didn't lift with Greg at all. And if you did middle, then I don't know, Greg sort of likes you. So there's then a game element, and how well that you play the game gets you or changes the narrative, right? So that would be a way where the narrative impacts the game. So you could choose whether you're going to go to the gym and play with Greg, or if you're going to go cook fish. And maybe if you go cook fish, you have you could imagine like Overcooked or something like that, where depending, Greg, one of them loves fish, one of them loves meat, chicken or whatever it was. And, depending on your resource management and whether you cook it in time and, blah, 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 one of them is happy or both of them are happy, and that changes the narrative then. So unfortunately in this game, this is not a game. We basically have an interactive narrative. So moving on, we're going to talk about agency in this case, and versus the richness of structure. And in this case, actually, the narrative is actually really well done. And there are several branching points, as far as I can tell, in terms of, cooking fish and different places that you can change the narrative, particularly around, I think, that choice of a fight or not a fight felt like a very big narrative branch. As well as some of these smaller ones around, am I going to read in the library? Am I going to go lift? How's that all going to work? And then there's the quality of choices that we're seeing here. And here, I think that we actually have some agency problems. So, and this might feed back into the information design discussion that we were having earlier, where I said, well, we're a little lost on how many actions, and I don't actually know the impact of my actions on anything within this. So I don't really have interesting choices. Basically what we're seeing is we approach something, we interact with it. Oh, that was a choice. Who knew? And because of that, I don't really have a lot of agency in this game, right? We're just poking at it. We're not necessarily playing it. So I think there's few interesting choices, and agency is problematic. Let's have a quick discussion around poetics. In this case, what we're looking for is that the narrative and the gameplay interact or work together, or maybe they conflict, right? So we're trying to understand that, and we're also trying to see whether the mechanics themselves support the themes of the story. So what we are looking at in this game, I think that, so some of this, there's a problem that there is really no gameplay. So because there's no gameplay, it's hard to say, whether they are, there is no gameplay. However, in the story itself, the narrative element of this, it does very much support the themes of this particular story. So I think that while they didn't kind of get it in terms of having a gameplay, they did actually kind of, the story resonates with the mechanics that we're asking them to do over and over and over again. So from there, we're going to talk about pacing and narrative techniques. So in this case, I think that it's kind of flat, actually. So the days tick over. Every day is the same, which, I mean, maybe this is a statement of prison life. But every day is effectively the same. They just kind of go on and on and on and on and on. And no choice ever really becomes a big choice, except maybe that fight scene. Maybe, but even that, it's very much a this is basically, it's a very flat-paced game. So finally, we're going to talk about narrative techniques. And in this case, I actually think they did fairly well because we've seen at least 2 different narrative techniques in this. We've seen dialogue boxes and we've seen a good use of cutscenes. So we definitely have more than one. At this point, we then asked the students to talk about the feedback. And the feedback they were given was, make sure the different story branches don't ruin the game. So the change was made to have a fight gain or lose favor. Great. Introduce the 2 escape characters early on, and they made that change, so you're greeted at the start of the game. I loved it, and it added in a little cutscene. Very nice. Third feedback was, don't overcomplicate with mechanics, get the story right first. So they initially planned mini games for each of the activities, and the focus was swapped to the story, removing the mini games. And right there, I think, was kind of a poor response to the feedback. So there definitely needed to be mini game. I could totally see how mini games would fit into this. I think that the statement should be, don't overcomplicate with huge amounts of mechanics. So, for example, in my scenario, I was like, oh, you can imagine Overcooked in the kitchen. Absolutely never do Overcooked in that kitchen scene because the mechanics in that would just be, I think, a little bit rough. Whereas a rhythm game in the gym would have been perfectly fine and would not have overcomplicated the mechanics. Then final is, let the player know that his accident choices have rewards. And so what they did is they gave hints of gaining, losing favor based on each option. So, for example, Greg will call you a weakling, and Jeff will call you a thug, depending on the fight and what your choice is there. And I think I like these flavorings because we come back to that information design discussion. It's great that we don't have this clear reputation bar going back and forth. I think some of it is the effects or the possibilities are unclear about. Well, we knew that Greg loved fish and one of them, Jeff, loved beef, or vice versa. But it just doesn't quite add up all the way into agency for us. So in this case, I think that the feedback was presented. I think that it was somewhat successful in this case. All right, I think it's time for us to move on to our next game. All right, let's move on to the game called The Marine. Ooh.
So I should probably start by playing. So movement with WASD, space to jump, shoot if I've got a gun, and escape pauses.
Okay, remember, don't tell, show, or play, but that's okay. Let's move on to, oh boy, objectives. Ooh.
This island is currently under the control of the Germans. You are to infiltrate their base and take down the commander. This mission is essential to gaining an advantage in this world. My target, here's the image data. This guy looks familiar.
Uh-oh.
I was kind of expecting to be shown an image, then maybe.
Yeah.
Do you understand this mission? Yes, I think so. Oh, something controls the camera. This way, I guess.
Looks like you've got a health bar in the lower left. You've got 0 out of 250 of something. Your objectives: infiltrate the enemy base. And you've got that mini map up at the top left.
Yeah, I thought like maybe there'd be a gun here or something, because there's like loads of crates.
What are those big red balls?
Not sure. Can I do anything? I tried clicking on it and that didn't seem to.
That's okay. Let's move out of this area. I have a feeling we've got to go up to that little off to the through. See that over to the in that dip in the
Oh, I think those red balls are like.
Oh, they're shooting at you.
Well, I remember now that enemy commander is my old army friend from years ago.
Uh-oh.
Am I really supposed to kill a friend? Maybe there's another way. Maybe I can find a way to escape this battlefield island with him before the allies pull the trigger. Allies. If I want to persuade him to escape, I probably shouldn't show up to him with a gun. Oh, I'm being shot by.
Oh, wait, what was that green thing? Was that like health? Did you get health?
Oh, I died.
Oh, you died! Guess the health didn't help, huh?
Yeah, I'm not
okay.
Sure. Oh, I'm being shot straight away.
Oh, yeah.
I chose to continue from the checkpoint. Stop shooting me.
Yes, please. Although you shouldn't get shot in the back immediately from the checkpoint. Oh, look, you've got new objectives. Choose save, find the key to open the door, or choose fight, find a gun to defeat enemies. Well, I mean, I would go for the key, but you know, let's do this one way or another. Whatever. Let's be opportunistic. Whatever we find first.
Don't shoot me. Oh no, I'm
Don't shoot. I don't think asking nicely is gonna help.
Oh, there's another green box here, so I'll try and see what it's doing. Let's see. It does look like a little health pack thing. Give me a bit of health pack. I'm probably going to need a lot of those if my current performance has anything to go on. Do the trees protect me? A little bit, I think. So, right, there's something green in there.
There's a giant red ball shooting towards you.
Yes, there's a lot of those. I think I'm about to die.
Okay. Oh, no. Yes, you are.
Okay, so...
You know, I think while you look for the key or the machine gun and get shot lots, I'm going to start for at least the basics of the marking. Please do speak up if an objective changes, or you find the key, or you find the gun, or anything else, okay? As we walk through this, we can take some breaks from the marking.
Yeah, I think I have spotted the gun already. I think that's the gun there. But I don't know if maybe that's the key. Not the key, like the alternative. Oh no, it's a health pack.
Yeah, you need the health pack.
I guess I'll just go for a gun for now.
Yeah, it's there. Let's do it. Oh, what's that to the left? Oh, it was part of the gun, wasn't it?
To the left. I think there's a box of ammo I went over, potentially.
That's what it was, a box of ammo. Okay, oh, but you died. Hopefully you still get your gun when you come back.
Oh yeah, I think, good.
Okay,
So
what's next? Maybe is there like... Infiltrate the enemy base. Your objectives have changed, and defeat one of three of three to open the door. Oh, you've got to kill things. Is that more ammo in front of you?
Yeah, I just went through it because I wasn't sure, and my ammo went up by like 40, I think. So I think it must be ammo.
Okay. It looks like you got to defeat more enemies. Go shoot things.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. Well, you do that. I'm going to go back, as I said, into the marking criteria, and we will. We're going to start. So, quality. Audio. Tell me a little bit about the audio. Music and sound effects?
Yeah, there's music in the background. You can hear like the plane overhead as well, like kind of, there's a plane somewhere. Yeah, you can hear like the rotors things going. There's sound effects of like, you can hear like bombs being dropped, and
yeah, and I particularly I like it when you get hit. The groans are kind of enjoyable.
Yeah.
I will also say that I think the music choice in this particular one is particularly compelling. That it's actually adding to the sense of urgency. Like, I want you to go run and hide and get through this. And I'm not even the one at the keyboard playing, and I think a large part of it is the music and the audio in here. So I'm going to say we've got complementary and appealing effects and music. Looking across then at graphics, I think we're in much the same place. We've got consistent, effective, and appealing graphics. I think everything is in the right place. And it all lends itself towards this feeling of searching and surviving and dodging those bullets and looking for the things and that heightened sense of urgency. And then I also think that they've done all key information is shown clearly in this. We've got your objectives, we've got your health, we've got the number of bullets in the gun, we've got the little mini map that has clear indications of where your enemies are, where you are. Ooh, go through the gate.
Yeah,
and then
kill enough enemies, but I think I now need to kill 7 until I've done one.
And you've also find and defeat the commander. Your objectives have changed again.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this is their base.
Yep. Ooh.
I just need to be better at shooting, I think, is the thing.
And I think, too, as part of the information design, we know that your little health readings, they're the little green boxes glow a little green, your ammo grows that little amber. I think the information design in this is very well done. Let's then move on to the next pieces. We'll start with meaningful play, which includes bugs, controls, and mechanics. In this case, the game is reasonably complex, and there are infrequent minor bugs, no bugs. Where are we feeling in bugs? Have we seen anything glitchy yet?
I don't think so. I think.
Okay.
As far
Excellent.
as I can see, I think it's just my inability to play more than anything.
All right, we won't penalize them for that. Okay, let's move on and talk about controls. Are we smooth and usable?
I'd say they're usable. I don't know if it's just my settings potentially, but like the mouse is like quite glitchy when it's moving around. Like it's not very smooth. The mouse over.
So basically, your movement is, but the mousing is not necessarily smooth. So we're somewhere between. We're definitely usable, but we're not all the way to smooth yet.
Yeah.
Great. Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics that we're seeing here. So you can walk around, you can walk through things like bullets and health to gain those resources. You can shoot things, and you can achieve objectives in order to make other things. So killing the enemies opens the gates, or hopefully a key would open the gates. So I think in this case, what we are looking at is a set of complementary mechanics. Let's move on to the fulfilling the brief. So looking at the story engine in particular, and how the game world impacts the story, and the story impacts the game world. I'm so sorry. So first we're going to start with how the game world impacts the story. And now, some of this is a little bit difficult because we haven't actually had a full playthrough yet. Keep shooting at things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the game notes for just a moment to try to see if they've explained anything in terms of story impacting the game, and it does in their game notes. Although I've noticed in their game notes do not have a narrative figure. It's much easier if you kind of tell us narrative arcs through a figure. So, how does the story impact the game? Based on, yeah, so the story impacts the game. So in their notes, basically how you decide to play. So if you're going to be, have we actually decided we're going to save the commander? Like, we picked up the gun because we couldn't find the key, but hopefully that would have been a decision. Are we going to try to save the commander? Are we just going to kill the commander? So how? I guess that actually is a really nice one. I like that the story. So basically, we originally were looking for the key because we wanted to try to save the commander. And so it was very much a survival game because we didn't have a weapon. And then when we finally said, well, there's the gun, let's go pick it up, it actually, the game itself changed and became a destruction game because we suddenly had to go kill objectives to open up the gate. So I think actually how our story is definitely impacting the game here in a very interesting way. So I think we've got, I'm not going to say we have a number of examples. We definitely have an example, but it's actually, I really appreciate how firmly and deeply tied it is. It's actually very subtle, and yet it's so significant within the game that we're going to say we have a number of examples where where the story impacts the game world. So let's then talk about how the game world impacts the story. And again, because we haven't actually seen the entire game, we're going to have to cut into the course notes a little bit here. There are two modes let the game have separate endings. So basically, I guess if we're trying to save the commander or not, which turn the story into two other stories. The player can choose to fight or still have mercy, which lets the game have a different mode. And it turns out if we actually have mercy on the commander, he turns on us, according to these game notes. So basically, it sounds like, depending on so what they're trying to do here is basically how we play the game. See, these are still narrative choices, right? We've decided that we are in the narrative that we're going to save the commander, and then there's a different ending. But there's not a huge number of game choices. So, for example, in fact, the only choice really is like if we get that key, the game impacts the story because we're on a search mission, not a shoot 'em up mission. So I'm going to say that we've got some examples, and some of our choices are around mercy and whether we're just going to have a big boss battle will change the story. But I think we need a little. It's not quite as well done as the story impacting the game world. So let's talk about richness of structure. Unfortunately, in the game notes, there's no narrative diagram, no figure that's kind of outlining the entire diagram. I can see, based on the mercy, the not mercy, the picking up the gun, picking up the key, that we do have some branching points, but it's unclear. It's unclear whether we get to several or not because we can't play the entire game multiple times, and there's no narrative diagram. Quality of choices. I actually think that in this particular game, we've got some interesting choices, and because of that beautiful choice of like find the key or get the gun, you're managing player agency here really well. I have a feeling that, Maddie, I don't think you're really enjoying shooting everything. I have a feeling you'd have actually preferred to find a key and done a survival type game. And so
been doing better if I'd done
You're
that.
doing better. You're doing good job. Good job, Maddie. Good job. Hey, look, you only have to kill one more enemy. Have we found the commander? Or are we just killing enemies right now?
Still just killing enemies. I haven't seen anything other than the like turrets so far.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I think that there's actually a really nice management of player agency in the choices that player gets to make. There's not a huge number of choices, but I love that there's that player agency involved. So let's talk about the poetics of this, the narrative and gameplay, and whether they conflict or support each other, and then whether the mechanics have to do with the themes of the story. So in this case, let's see. Oh, there are 2 doors out of this area, huh?
Yeah, I can pick which way I should go. Which way should I go to find the command? So I've got a door here, I think. Is that door opening here? I think I saw one somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe is it over the back corner, potentially? Yeah, there's a door over there as well. Is it? Another one that I came in from. Yeah, they're the 2 doors, I think.
Okay. I guess you get to choose one.
I think some of them say stuff over the top, so I might see if they say that. So that says C. So I'll see what the other one says and see if that gives me a hint which way to go.
Right. While you're kind of reading that, so I think in this case, the narrative elements in this choice and the gameplay of survive or destruction, like they're actually really supporting each other. And I think that the mechanics emphasize those themes. That the mechanics that you can choose, they're in keeping, right? Like, is it destruction? Is it survival? Although I guess we didn't find the key, so hopefully that's how we can only make assumptions that that's how the game on that side would play. Then we can talk about pacing, and in this case, well, we haven't quite gotten to the end, but I feel like there's definitely been, so far, ascending pacing. First we had to get off the beach, and we had to look around, and we had to go on the plane to find something. There were things shooting, and we had to kill 3 things once we found the gun, and then we had to kill 7 things once we were in the gate. I have a feeling that once we get to the boss, to the enemy commander.
Yeah, I think I've just got. I'm guessing it's the one that I'm shooting at, but there's a few like that look the same as this one around.
Oh my goodness! You now have 10 enemies you've got to kill.
Oh jeez.
You can do it, Maddie. So basically, right here we have hit a boss battle. It's very clear that we have ascending pacing with a clear final peak. Let's talk a little bit about game rating techniques. So in this case, we have seen one game rating technique. We've seen a lot of good use of that dialog box. While you try to kill the boss, the commander, let's... are we killing... Yeah, defeat the commander. Go. Oh, are you going to kill him or are you going to spare him?
I guess kill, because you said about the game notes, they're going to betray
I'm
anyway.
sorry, I destroyed it with the game notes. Kill him! Maybe then we'll see an ending. Oh! Excellent!
I got a Medal of Honor.
Well done. I think we hit a game ending. Well done. And you were spared shooting another 10 bad guys.
That's the main win.
Great. Let's run through the feedback really quickly. And so the feedback that they were given was, where is their feedback section? There it is. Story branches. Make sure that small branches still make a difference in the world. I actually think they've done that really well around that commander and these decisions, and we could get the gun, but we could still choose mercy, but they're still making a difference. Consider the start of the story. Why are they adventuring together? In this case, I guess they're not adventuring together, but there's this old friendship here, and how do they relate? Consider flipping the decision and making them betray you themselves, which fits the original fable better. Yes. Consider making separate distinct endings depending on who has fought. And making choices they don't favor, eventually making them betray you themselves. So they created the starting area. Actually, I think they addressed all that feedback really well. And in this case, I think that it is very clear that feedback has been addressed and changes have been successful. So thank you so much for playing this game. It was actually, I think, a really well done game for narrative and gameplay. Well done.